There exists a genre of games, more niche than many others, called rhythm games. And using the power of the beeps and the boops, they dominate this planet.
Beeps and the boops are very pleasing.
Most people have heard of it, or at least seen clips of them, like those mad boys making everyone in their school go berserk at a talent show. Maybe even those insane enough to stand in front of crowds playing arcade games, asserting utter dominance over everyone watching and their money. Needless to say, they come in all shapes and sizes. And today, I want to talk about Arcaea. Arcaea is a mobile-based rhythm game developed by Loviro. It was released in the year 2017 and is famous for its unique three-dimensional gameplay with unique arcs, a fancy type of hold note that is assigned to specifically one finger, and sky notes, which can appear anywhere in a set area on the screen, in addition to the basic and ever so popular 4-lane gameplay. The game has been out for 6 years now, and if by any chance you are a rhythm game enthusiast, odds are that you have already heard of it or played it yourself. I myself have been playing it for 3 years now, and I feel like it's a good time to make one of these videos where I give a tasteful review of what the game has to offer and my journey playing it. A video like this was long overdue, but you know, better late than never.
Stop it. Get some help.
I truly believe that Arcaea has solidified itself as one of the best rhythm games to have ever been made, mobile or arcade, and it stands as a personal favorite of mine. The first thing arcade related I ever saw was this viral video of Grievous Lady, and the first thought that came to my mind while watching it for hell no! I'm not going anywhere close to that. Like, do you see this? How the hell do you even play this? Nah, not playing it. Not anytime soon. Fast forward 1 year and I was already playing the damn game. Times were tough, okay? COVID started and everyone was sitting at home because of lockdown and doing nothing, getting bored and depressed, and I too needed something to add some spice to my boring life, okay? Plus the new update was out and everything looked so good. It was perfect timing and I just had to play it. So I did. It was 28th May 2020 when I started playing the game. But here's the fun part. I had actually tried playing the game once before, but it felt too hard, so I actually ended up quitting after playing for just 2 days. Yeah, that happened. I admit it was hard to play early on, but getting used to it and getting better at it was so much fun. The gameplay does look very intimidating at first, but honestly it's the best part and I love how it plays out. It's hard and challenging, but at the same time very simple to understand. As I was improving and playing harder difficulty levels, I noticed that there are a few things that can be done from the player's perspective that can help them boost their progress, like slowly implementing multiple fingers while playing, changing note speed, handling your field of vision, or even taking breaks. I also like the whole potential system that has been implemented into the game because it kept me motivated to actively grind and improve. The better you perform, the more points you get, and the worse you perform, the more points you end up losing. In the most simple terms, the potential system is the reflection of your skill level in the form of a numeric value based on your 10 most recent plays and top 30 plays of all time. Of course, the explanation goes deeper, but honestly, I don't think I want to go that deep. Then we also have different game modes. World mode, with numerous maps where you grind for partners, level up and awakening material, songs and new events. Honestly, I have lost the motivation after playing for this long, so I still have some maps left to unlock partners and songs. Definitely going to do that at some point. The same with course mode, which is a marathon style game mode to see how hardcore and skilled you are in the game currently. These get super hard as we progress. Like, just look at this monstrosity. But the best part of these game modes is that you can take your time and play at your own pace. Except the limited time ones, which if you don't complete in the given time, the map goes away and fair enough. They give a long time for you to clear those limited time maps. And the last one is Link Play, which is basically multiplayer mode for Arcaea. Honestly, one of the best things to get added in the game, and the last thing people expected to get added. Nobody saw it coming. Now you can have fun and play with your friends. Or bully them.
Trolled, you've been trolled, yes, you've probably been told. Don't reply to this guy, he's just trying to get a rise out of you. Yes, it's true, you respond and that's his cue to start trouble on the double while he strokes it.
Arcaea took a massive W with this, not only in gameplay, but also in the songs department. The amount of songs and the amount of content you can play while staying free to play is insane, and they keep adding more through World Extend and Beyond maps. Not only that, the songs themselves are so good and amazing. From Camellia to Onoken, T-Paz to Lore, there are so many goated artists in this game that it's disrespectful that I can't even speak all of their names. And the diversity doesn't end as Arcaea keeps collabing with different games, increasing the variety and number of banger songs it has in the game. Or just listen to this. Doesn't this sound epic as hell? From chill to intense, Arcaea has you covered with everything. Rhythm games single-handedly have allowed me to be introduced to so many artists and so many bangers. It's ridiculous, and Arcaea plays a massive part in that. But just recently, we lost one of the best ones, Akira Complex, and I'm really thankful to all the friends we made along the way in this community. It's good to see a game that is filled with so many decent and fun people, and how all came together to do things for Arcaea. They definitely left a mark on all of us with their work, and they will definitely be remembered as one of the skilled music artists in the rhythm game community that we had seen. May their soul rest in peace, and let's have a moment of silence. But besides from the gameplay and the songs, the game has one other thing that makes it a complete package, and it's the most underrated part of the game, the story. Each story is unique, and the same can be said for the ones in Arcaea. Specifically speaking, the main story. After 5 long years, it finally came to an end, and the way it ended changed my entire outlook on the story and how I thought about it. It made me want to go back and reread it, something that I was not planning on doing at all, and was pleasantly surprised when I did. You know something is good, impressive even, when you go back to read and your experience gets better. Even though Arcaea's story is written in a light novel style, it has some illustrations along with some animations here and there to help visualizing what's going on. But most of it is just text. I've always been someone who takes great interest in elaborately written literature, but you can't just up and start reading a bunch of it for, no reason. If there's no motivation to do so, I probably won't pay attention to it. I cannot lie, that's how it was for me while I was reading the story for the first time. However, somewhere along the lines, I did start to get invested. There was something spectacular about it that I did not understand at first. But to understand the true greatness behind something, you give it the time and attention it deserves. And something can only be as important as how important you deem it to be. After the story ended, I spent my time rereading and reviewing the chapters. The more I read, the more things became clearer, and the more I understood the motives and the hidden details behind the walls of text, because at first, I was not looking at it the right way. Arcaea's story is far deeper than what it appears to be, and it's so hard to explain. Like on surface level, it seems like a story with 2 protagonists who are on their individual journeys, doing their own thing through a seemingly lost and purposeless empty world where nobody lives, with no memories of their past or about themselves, not even knowing their own names, and no answers to how and why they got there. But it is so much more than that. The writing won't make as much impact as it does with just looking at it from surface level. this might be the best way to explain what it is all about, for me at least. In the final chapters, the climax of the story, there is a big fight going on and different things are happening, telling us who has the upper hand and who is more powerful. Everything from the start has been building up to this point. But for me, the fighting itself doesn't represent the story. What represents the story is the reason why they're fighting in the first place. What's going on in their minds while they're doing so. What they have gone through to reach this point. Even though there's fighting and action, Arcaea's story was never about the fighting that it had led to. It was all about the experiences, the individual suffering and struggles the characters had gone through on their journeys, and learning from them as they were alone in their minds with no sense of identity or purpose, devoid of any contact with another living being, facing troubles that had been thrown upon them by the world with no path being safer or the correct one, with nobody there to help them or guide them. These are things that are right there in front of you as you read the story, but they're not just out in the open. You have to really try to put yourself in the character's shoes and experience it yourself. That's why, if I were to describe it, Arcaea's story feels more like a novel than a movie, since you have to dig deeper for the meaning. Needless to say, it is all subjective and just my opinion. While I was doing my research and looking for things that meant something for the lore and the Easter eggs, I found a lot of things throughout the game in song arts and lyrics, even in song previews and music videos that are not in the game themselves. The art and the story is filled with things that are tightly tied to the lore, but it is so well hidden, hardly anyone notices it. There's so much more left to unpack and uncover, and just goes to show how much time and emotions have been put into writing the story and reinforcing it with things that themselves require effort to discover. People come to play a rhythm game for its gameplay, so it is natural that the story might be viewed as something extra or just meh. But for other people who want to deep dive into the lore and look for intentionally hidden details, they have a lot to look forward to. Personally, I had a blast finding all the stuff that I did, and took the game to a whole new level for me. Praise aside, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, per se. The big bad, the complaints. Well, honestly, there is not much I have to complain about or say the game is bad. The things that were or could have been seen as potential complaints have already been fixed. No one can say there is not enough content available for free-to-play players, or that the beyond map grinding is very time-consuming. Most of the problems have been dealt with. If someone wants to test their skills, they have course mode. If they want to play with their friends, then you have link play.
Jesus, that was
this one's gonna give you one of the Figros tomorrow, dude, because you're not gonna survive Figros.
Of course. Yeah, at least I'm not lost. Get destroyed, Pokemetry.
How sad is that?
Enjoy my suffering.
Every year they give away free memories, and there is a yearly sale where the prices drop by 50% for most of the packs and songs. The only things that I can talk about are CCs, chart constants, which is a numerical value given to a chart based on its difficulty. They might need to be rebalanced since it has been a long time, and a lot of new charts have come out, so some chart constants look out of place. Then we have the potential feature. Many people say that it's not necessary to have it on to enjoy the game, and I totally agree. But there's this hate against the system where people go ahead and say it's useless, but they're just straight up wrong. Potential system does make things competitive, and the moment you mention to other players in any given settings, you can't help but compare yourself, and I understand that it can be demotivating, but again, people grind hard to reach high potential levels. I don't think anyone should have any issues with it. If you don't feel like thinking about it, just turn it off. Or if you want some sort of challenge and want to play with it, just do that. I do agree that at times you lose so much out of nowhere, but I think that is how problematic as it can get. I do feel like sometimes I don't feel like playing rhythm games at all, but that's a very common thing. Everyone experiences it, and playing some other game or taking a break can fix the problem in some given time. Burnouts are normal. They are in every game, and rhythm games are no different. And that's that. I think that wraps up all the possible topics I could give my opinions on. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. It had been a while, and honestly, if this video gets to see the light of day, I would be amazed. Would love it if you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm just very passionate about the games and stories I love, especially when I put as much time and effort in as with Arcaea. But there's no changing that is how it has made me feel, and I want to share that experience with others as well. Also, I wanted to give a big shout out to Advent. You remember this short clip?
At least I'm at last get destroyed Pokemetry.
Yeah, that's him. I have been watching his channel for a year now, and the man makes some entertaining content. From rhythm game streams to some other games like Persona, he streams a lot, and he's a lot more consistent than I am, that's for sure. Like damn, he has weekly schedules and he keeps up with them. So yeah, go and subscribe to his channel. He's really close to hitting 1k, and his consistency deserves it. I know my channel is not big enough to give a shout out, but you know, who cares? In future, I want to make a series of videos where we discuss Arcaea's story in greater depth, chapter by chapter. So if you guys want to see that, then I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, be it suggestions, opinions, or any kind of feedback. Let's have some fun in the comment section. Here are my socials if you feel like you want to talk with me or connect with me, blah blah blah. I don't even use Twitter, but oh well, there's that. And yeah, that's it. Hope you have a wonderful day forward. See ya, and take care. Bye bye.